name is King the County, and today we're taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins He-Man! I don't know why, but all of a sudden these guys are back in stock at Walmart. I got it in the mail just literally a few seconds ago. I am excited to review this figure, and it's one that I have been wanting to review for a long time. So to start off for the packaging, we get the new for 20 little logo, the Masters of the Universe He-Man, little burst right there, and another burst that says Modern Posing Retro Play, the actual figure. And before we get onto the back, I have a little complaint with this figure. I'm not expecting much, right? Walmart, listen, I probably know that asking for a figure to be unpunched is a little bit of, you know, a douche move, if you know, but that's kind of what I want, you know? I'd expect these guys to come from a warehouse, and it's just, oh, well, I'm gonna open the figure anyway, but this would be a very bad thing for mint on card collectors, so watch out. But anyway, on the back, we get some... Again, I'm gonna open it, but like, Walmart, get your shit together, man. You covered up the He-Man, and not only that, because they came in a box, the card is bent. But, we gotta get back into the review. Oh shoot, I might have bent one of my Garbage Pail Kids cards. Oh no. Anyway, on this little beautiful artwork right there, it says, with the mystical power sword, the mighty He-Man protects Eternia from the forces of evil. And it includes an actual comic book. Right there, there is the little, you know, line description. Modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures, Masters of the Universe Origins gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as retro-style figures or in new action-packed battle positions. And then right there we have a... And to the left we have fit power sword into hand and twist into powerful battle positions. Well, anyway, let's get to opening this bad boy. So first off, here we have the comic book, which is surprisingly not 2 pages long. I mean, a whole entire 6 pages. Man, Mattel really outdid themselves. The home of the evil Skeletor.
Beastman, capture Prince Adam. For his life, Castle Grayskull's secret shall be mine.
And with it, all the power in the universe, Skeletor.
Skeletor, the prince is outside the castle's magic shield, and he's all by himself. Excellent, Evelyn.
Oh jeez. My brain hurts so much from reading. Oh my god, I mean 6 pages, that's too much even for a guy like me. One thing I like about this comic over the Masters of the WWE Universe comics is that they, for one, are longer, but that comes at the disadvantage of not having a nice little bio card at the very beginning. How do I transition to the He-Man story? Oh, yes. Do you know how I said that bio card should be at the very beginning of the comic book? Well, let's start at the very beginning of He-Man's story. Let's go, baby! My transitions are as smooth as jagged rocks! Remember, you can subscribe to the channel at any time. He-Man is from the Masters of the Universe toy line that started in 1982, and in my opinion, single-handedly hard carried the entire toy industry up until 1987. The original wave consisted of He-Man, Skeletor, Teela, Man-at-Arms, Beastman, Zodak, Merman, and my favorite, Stratos. And of course, we cannot forget the absolute beauty of the playset that was Castle Grayskull. He-Man boosted the toy industry into the 80s, and oh boy, they absolutely turned that toy line upside down and shoved it straight up the money's ass. I should have thought this through. I mean, they had a freaking figure that could switch heads with a human, a monster, and a freaking robot called Manny Faces. Manny Faces? More like I'm gonna buy many of these figures because they're so damn cool. They also had a skunk-themed character named Stinkor that freaking smelled of patchouli oil, and apparently the factory stunk so bad that the workers were getting sick and quitting the company. Stinkor? More like stop making the factory stink or I'm leaving to Hasbro. I mean, this line had it all. The biggest playsets, the biggest figures. It even had figures that probably shouldn't be in a children's toy line because they contain sexual innuendos. Tongue lash or? More like the parents are going to tongue lash out on you, Mattel, so I suggest you probably recall that figure. Otherwise, your line is probably gonna get canceled. But get canceled it did. When the 1987 profits plummeted from the previous year and it seemed like He-Man would never be seen again along with those Preternia concepts. Mattel, I'm still waiting. I really want to put my He-Man figures inside of a dinosaur. And then they retried it in the 90s, and if He-Man wasn't gay enough, at least according to menshealth.com, they gave him a damn ponytail. Needless to say, Space Christian cartoon looking He-Man did not last long. So I'm just gonna do us all a favor and...
I like it, Kudgy.
But you know what did last long? Or at least longer than Ultra Gay He-Man? Big Buff Anime He-Man! Everything was amazing! Everything was amazing! The animation was amazing! The toys were amazing! Except for the kids. Because the kids couldn't give a rat's ass about this toy line because they were more concerned with the rat's ass. Then Mattel decided to make a He-Man toy line only for adults, and no, I'm not talking about that kind of toy line, but I'm talking about an adult collector-oriented one. Needless to say, this one succeeded, but no kids were buying into the line. It was all adult. In order to keep Masters of the Universe going, they had to introduce it to a whole nother generation. And then Kevin Smith was like, I got you, fam. New He-Man cartoon, bam. Something made for the adults, boom. New toy line made for everyone. And then Mattel presented this beautiful toy line in the 2019 Toy Fair, and the rest is history. And you know what else is history? This stupid joke. Let's get on to the actual He-Man himself. The painting and the sculpting on this figure are just oozing with masculinity. We're talking Arnold Schwarzenegger, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Randy Savage levels of masculinity, alright? This guy is in a league of his own. This guy has the basic modern Masters of the Universe body. The face sculpt is the only one thing I'm really truly concerned about because the thing is, this He-Man face doesn't look that good. It looks almost a bit too bright, if you know what I'm saying. Like, the hair isn't the dirty blonde it used to be with the original figure. I would compare it to the original figure, but guess what? I don't have the original figure because number one, I'm broke. Number two, I'm broke. His boots do add a nice little touch, and they are reminiscent of the original. His boots do add a nice little touch, and they are very reminiscent of the original He-Man. And as for the painting, well, there's not really much you can do with the almost semi-naked, muscle-bound hunk. But what painting is there is nicely shown on the little X on the front of the harness that He-Man has, which is removable, and the harness is in a bit more of a slightly bluish tone, and the head sculpt has really dark eyebrows along with dark eyes, and the hair is just the hair. It's nice and curvy. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, besides the boots, but we already covered that. And as for his accessories, oh boy, is he packing.
Oh, come on. Yeah, sure. Oh, he's hung like a rhino, and I get a face like a pirate flag. Yeah, that's real fair.
First off, we have the iconic Power Sword. this power sword is like the original, just half a piece, except this time it actually has like little connectors so you can actually connect it to the other half of the power sword, which is Skeletor's power sword. Simply just connected by snapping it together like so, and there you go, two-sided sword. And there you go, a two-sided sword that will unlock all the power of Castle Grayskull and the universe too. Depends on which source you're identifying. The second accessory is He-Man's other iconic, well, accessory, and that is the Shield of Power, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, nicely sculpted. We've seen this before with the Roman Reigns and the John Cena in the Masters of the WWE Universe line, except this time the actual like little Simon looking things are actually painted in. I'm not sure, yeah, they weren't painted with the Roman Reigns thing, it was just all silver, so I'm glad that these guys are finally painted. My only complaint, as I said with other reviews, is that, of course, this little grip doesn't like to hold on. The figures don't like to hold on to this grip, alright? It's pretty tedious, and I hope they fix it, but they probably won't since this is already an established mold. His final accessories is Battle Axe. I mean, not much to see here. I do like how they have the more like these edges tilting more at an angle, so that's pretty cool. And then just have the very, very nice, but it's a plain color. But that's okay, because that's how the original was. My only complaint is that it doesn't have like the little patterns inside right here. Again, we have seen this with the Masters of the WWE Universe John Cena action figure that came with the Grayskull Mania, and we're gonna see it in the future Hulk Hogan figure. And overall, the accessories allow for a good amount of just overall presentability, but one of my main problems is, we'll continue talking about the problems on the accessories, is that my complaint with the sword is that if you look at it, it's supposed to be on the open hand, and if you, like, the more presentable side of the sword isn't really, you know, doesn't want to really hold on. And you might say, why don't you just use the other hand with your beer and your cookies? And I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of something. Cut me some slack, please. You might say they have no other option, but listen, the shield is clearly meant to be with the hand, the grabby hand, but even this doesn't hold on well, because as you can see, it doesn't really want to friggin' clip. It doesn't really want to clip on to the hand per se. It does clip on using these, so I guess that's a quick save by Mattel. I guess you could use it on the other hand, but it's not really that good of a solution in my opinion. I wish they would just both be grabby hands. My final complaint would be with the Battle Axe. As you can clearly see, the harness in the back is made for the power sword, alright? This is supposed to go in here. But where do we store the Battle Axe if you want He-Man to be, you know, doing his, ooh, I have the power, pew pew, you know, type of thing? What are you supposed to do with the Battle Axe? And if you put it in the back, it just doesn't really fit that snugly. I mean, unless you like kind of push it down, but even then, it's still pretty loose. So, accessories, 10 out of 10. Storage of the accessories and overall posability, I'm gonna have to go with more like a 6. Speaking of posability, oh shoot, I just realized He-Man's cheekbones were really high. But never mind He-Man's luscious, beautiful cheekbones. I was talking about posability, wasn't I? Time to get to the posability of this figure. His arm can move out, but it can also swivel. It's on one of those kind of joints. His elbow can bend, but it can also swivel. And also, just a little tidbit that I should tell you. The arms on these guys tend to be a bit tight when you take them out of the packaging, and that's actually how I broke my Skeletor from before. Check out the Battle Cat review for context. And so what I did with the new Skeletor that I got, which is right next to me, but this is about He-Man. What I did was I took the air dryer, I took a hair dryer, blasted it onto the elbow, and then took like a little screwdriver or something like that, and like I picked out the excess plastic pretty easily, and then it bent. Swivel at the hand, but it can also go up and down at the wrist. Swivel at the waist. A ball joint type thing in the legs. A nice and spicy bend. A swivel at the boot cut, and some up and down on the ankle, but it can also pivot. So overall, the articulation of this figure is not exactly the best, but it does really good with covering up the joints of the figure and makes it look like it's an actual little human being. The range of posability allows for multiple different poses, action poses, fighting poses, or gay poses if that's how you're using your He-Man figure, you stupid pervert! But anyway, let's call upon the Storm Shadow Army for this guy to receive his final judgment. So I give this He-Man 2 Storm Shadows out of 3. So overall, this figure is an amazing representation of He-Man. It's just a great way to get a modern He-Man figure, and I'm so glad that they're taking He-Man to the stores once again for the first time since 2002. I really hope this line succeeds, and with the Castle Grayskull coming up, it seems that they have enough money so far to design and release a Castle Grayskull, so I hope it succeeds. So anyway, that's the end of this video. Like, comment, share, do all the things that you gotta do. Don't buy from scalpers, and I'll see you guys in the next video.